This is the Module 4 of English for Academic and Professional Purposes, which is entitled Writing a Critic Paper. This chapter explains the notion on writing a critic paper. A critic paper is different from a review paper in the sense that a critic is written by a person who is an expert in a certain field. A critic is basically an intellectual and objective analysis supported by facts. As a student, you are encouraged to hone your analytical and critical thinking skills and maintain objectivity as you write your own critique of a work at the end of this chapter. Therefore, in this chapter, we are going to talk about the critique paper, steps in writing a critique paper, the critique paper format, and art criticism. A critique paper is an analysis and evaluation of a person's work. This may include a piece of literary work, a political or philosophical theory. A critique paper may be in a form of critical essay evaluating a central issue and highlighting both the strengths and weaknesses of a certain work. As a critical evaluator, you need to have ample knowledge and background about the subject matter you are critiquing. You need to articulate very well your argument supported with evidences, logic, and conclusion. In some cases, many authors may feel intimidated by critics with the notion that their works would be labeled as incompetent. However, there are also some who would embrace constructive criticisms as an avenue to help improve their works. As a writer, you provide the readers an understanding of the topic through the presentations and discussions of the implications and findings. A critic paper shows evidences for a specific topic on review through a description of data. This data may be used to agree or counteract a certain point of view. Below are steps in writing a critic paper as suggested by Tom Ryan. First, introduce the work you are critiquing. Give the name of the author, the title of the work, the date of publication, and a very brief summary of the argument the author makes. Second, offer a brief opinion of your own to entice the reader. Write your opinion about why the work is flawed or irrelevant. Third, back up your opinion with just a few sentences that give a general overview of your analysis. Build up to your thesis, which summarizes your critique. And last, state your thesis. This may be just one sentence or several, depending on the length and complexity of your argument. The thesis statement is your big point and should give the reader a taste of your overall conclusion. According to the American Psychological Association or APA format, a critic paper has its specific rules and guidelines. Your paper should be double-spaced, using 1-inch margins and Times New Roman font in 12 point. The general structure of your critique should consist of a title page, abstract, body, and references. When formatting the title page, you should indicate name of your paper and school, as well as your personal data. APA format article critique follows a clear structure. First, abstract. This section should consist of a brief summary of the critique you are going to provide. Write down how it will influence the reader and what analysis methods were used. This paragraph should be 15 to 250 words long with centered word abstract at the top. Second, body. On the next page, center the title of your work and start providing necessary details, not forgetting to double space the text. Here you should include mistakes you have found in the article, methods you have used, and so on. Third, references. This section may include only the paper you are analyzing, but you shouldn't forget about the formatting style you are going to use. Write the reference in such an order: last name of the author, initials, publication year, title of the article, name of the journal in italics, volume, page numbers if necessary. In-text citation should be made using the author date system, which means that you only need to indicate name of the author, followed by the year of publication. If you want to quote a certain part of the paper, you need to include the page name at the end. If you know how to write an article critique, you will easily complete the assignment not depending on its complexity and formatting peculiarities. Art criticism is a means of analyzing and evaluating a particular work of art in order to comprehend the intentions of the artist. Art criticism may be applied in genres like performing arts and visual arts. Performing arts may include plays, dance, operas, live music, film, and televisions. On the other hand, visual arts encompass paintings, woodcuts, cartoons, stained glass, mosaic, and photography. Edmund Burke Feldman, a professor of arts at the University of Georgia, identifies and describes these three philosophies of art that are useful for justifying critical judgments. These are the following. First, formalism approach stresses the importance of the formal qualities and the visual elements of arts. Second, expressivism approach stresses the importance of communication of ideas and feeling in convincing and forceful manner. And last, instrumentalism approach stresses the importance of the social intention or utility of the work. Feldman suggested guidelines containing four basic components or stages of looking at art. This include first, description. Description describe exactly what you see in enough detail that your audience could visualize the artwork from your words. Describe only factual information about the artwork and give a basic background history of the artist. Include the title, art materials, artist, date, and location of the painting, drawing, sculpture, and etc. Do not use judgments or opinions. Ask yourself the questions. What was your first impression when viewing the paintings or sculpture? What does the artwork look like to you? What objects can be recognized? What is the subject of the painting? What textures, colors, and shapes are there in the piece? And what about line, forms, and space? Second, analysis. Write about the elements and principles of design and the relationships between the subject that you mentioned in the description. Include analysis of relationships such as sizes, shapes, colors, textures, space and volumes, and etc. Encourages a complete examination of the artwork. Ask yourself the questions. First, what stands out and draws your eye within the artwork? Write about the commonalities of the design elements previously mentioned. How are they organized or related? Think about contrast, rhythm, balance, proportion, variety, and emphasis. Third, interpretation. It is the meaning of the work based on the information in description and analysis. Interpretation is about ideas, not description or sensation or feelings. State your personal interpretation based on background, experiences, and what you know about art. Stare at the artwork for a while and gather your thoughts. Ask yourself the questions. What is the painting, sculptural, or drawing, etc. about? What message is the artist trying to convey? Does the artwork have a purpose? What feelings do you get from the piece? Does it remind you of something? What point is the artist trying to get across in your opinion? And last, evaluation. This is the conclusion to the art critic. Be sincere and intelligent. Summarize what the art is about in your own words. State your personal feelings and thoughts. It is neither informed nor critical but simply an opinion. Ask yourself a question. Did your first impression change and why? Do you think it was a successful artwork? Is it unique? Is it an accurate depiction of the artist's skills? Can you do better? Can you readily understand the subject? And does the design elements space, form, line, shape, color, texture help you to do so? In your opinions, was the artwork well planned? Is it good representation of the category of art?